All right, everybody, welcome in, and good afternoon, and happy Monday to you. It is Monday, December the 20th, 2021. We are 5 days away from Christmas. It is the last week that we will be here for Stick and Hack Reacts for the year. We're going to take a little break. There's nothing to react to, Keith, so we can react to each other's Christmas and the holiday season and the new year and go through all that. Or we can take a break, spend the time with our loved family as we get ready for 2022. This is the only thing we're going to talk about today, Keith. I'm Adam Grubb, by the way, from Stick and Hack. That's Keith Stewart, ESPN Radio and host of The Pro Show and creator of Read the Line. The only thing we're going to talk about this week is Tiger Woods. Much to the chagrin of those that are non-Tiger fans, I'm sure they've probably already gone, ugh, and they've tuned out. However, you can't be a golf fan, you can't be a fan of man and not be impressed by what happened over this weekend at the PNC Championship. And to top it all off, our boy JD, looking fit, by the way, took the crown. He and little John Daly, John JD2, won the PNC Championship. But there were so many cool moments over the weekend. It is a apparent scramble type format and just an incredible weekend. Keith, your reaction to the PNC Championship?
Obviously, two big thumbs up. Just a awesome weekend for golf, for families, etc. You know, Adam, I need your help right away. I have a tough time deciding what the image of the weekend was. Was it when Tiger was hugging Charlie at the end of it all, you know, the end of their two rounds and, you know, they embraced one another? Or was it when JD was sitting in the fairway with his son smoking a heater, like looking like shit?
100% the second one. 100% the second one. Father-son moments and Charlie and Tiger, that's all great. But seeing them just both staring down the 18 fairway, waiting for their shot, and JD just with probably a red. I mean, not just a cigarette, a red, which is he's like a cowboy out there. That is the image of the weekend for sure. And I'm glad you brought it up because there was I even nodded to my wife, who for some reason was nearby when that golf tournament was on, was actually watching it. And I said, look at that. And that was the image of the weekend, which you don't get on a week-to-week basis unless you're watching golf from the 70s. What a hilarious moment. And I'll tell you, watching those two play was a lot of fun. It was the stick hack and all hack and all stick. There were so many things happening right there with that pairing of John Daly and his son, who we remember years ago as little John, looking basically the same, and knowing that he had an opportunity to play some good golf, and he has done that. So that's my reaction by far, Keith. And I've got so many storylines. Do you want me to just pound them to you?
Hang on, wait 1 second. One more thing, because you know JD and his son won, so we got to give them credit before we go on a Tiger, trip and we don't come back to them, because you know they did shoot 57 on Sunday and they won the thing by 2. But what was most interesting to me was that John lets his son putt second. He was the only professional group where the amateur was putting like in the anchor position. Like, to me, like, a lot of that got swept under the rug, but I thought that was tremendous, and they were the ones that ended up winning it. So big thumbs up to JD Sr., kind of looking at the situation, balancing their pros and cons, and then coming up with a strategy with which to win. And I think the only thing that would have made the executives cringe more on Sunday as he was staring down that heater on 18 would be like if he was dressed as Santa Claus, which I wouldn't have put past John Daly, but...
Well, wasn't he dressed in the team photo?
Yes.
In the family photo late in the week last week? Yeah, he was, and he looked like Santa. I mean, there was nothing about John Daly that looked svelte, that looked like he had put in any work on the tread or even mixed in a salad in the last 25 years. Yet his swing looked exactly the same, and it's fun. He's just a joy to watch. I can't say enough great things about John. He lives his life, and people ask him, is he going to get healthy? Is he going to stop? And he said, no, I'm not. This is how I'm living this way. This is what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop any of this stuff. And he tried, but watching him out there as a dad was great, and not just this larger than life character. But then John Daly also had a moment, Instagram fame and TikTok fame over the weekend as well, where he had a G&T and a heater in his mouth, and was barefoot, and was one-handing chip shots and hitting them from 30, 40 yards away, was draining these one-handed, barefooted, drink in hand. He invented the saying, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
And it's...
Might be true.
I mean, my God, it's I don't know what we could do another 20 minutes just on JD. The guy's out of his mind. But it was fun. Now, it was fun to see on Twitter how, hey, thanks for ruining everyone's weekend, John, because that's not the storyline we wanted.
No.
But we got it, and it still works. Now, had it been VJ and his son, okay, good job. But that would have been soul-crushing for many people. The fact that at least it was a personality in John Daly winning and his son, that brought some cheers to the tournament. So PNC Championship won by John Daly and John Daly too.
Yeah, definitely the second best storyline you're going to get out of the weekend as far as from the winners column. And all right, so what else you got for me? You got some rapid fire reactions? Hit me.
I do. Nelly Korda getting her picture taken with Tiger, and the number one golfer in the world in the LPGA was resorted to nothing more than a fangirl. And you could see the giddiness in her and her nervousness to approach Tiger and ask for a photo. It's all captured on film. If you've not seen it, there's obviously everything is captured these days on film. However, it was such a cool moment for Nelly to come up and talk to Tiger like a fan and not as a professional golfer herself in the ropes 5 feet from him. She said, "Tiger, excuse me, is there any chance I could maybe get a photo? I'm so sorry to bother you." And to Tiger's credit, he was like, "Nelly," and he was super excited, and he got his sponsor watch on, though he wasn't going to take a picture without the sponsor watch. Well, once he got that thing on, then it was photo time. Your reaction to Nelly being a fangirl there for a couple minutes?
I like how you put it, like another professional golfer. She's the number one woman golfer in the world.
I said that. I said she was the number one golfer. I gave her credit. What I'm saying is that she's a professional golfer. She shares the same profession as he does, but that went away. She was not the number one golfer in the world. She was just a golfer. She was just a person in that moment who adored Tiger. That's my point.
I mean, I was with some friends, and that video came up on social media, and people asked me, they said, "Well, what's it like?" I said, "Every time that you walk up to him, he's a larger-than-life personality, and it makes you question speech, walking. I mean, all of those things." I don't know what to say. I have talked to him, been around his probably over 100 times, Adam. And every single time I was thinking about what I was saying as if it was like, my first date with my wife. I mean, it's like you just can't put it into words. He's just a larger-than-life guy. And Nelly put that all on display right there for everyone. I don't care who you are. Even if you don't care like John Daly, when you go up to Tiger, you're thinking about it. And to his credit, that's pretty cool.
All right, next one. I don't know if you saw this or not. This might be too deep in the archives, but Henrik Stenson's son, did you see his press conference?
Yeah.
If you've not seen this kid, I don't know his name, and I've done
Carl.
zero research to this. So what's his name?
Carl.
All right.
Yeah.
Carl Stenson, who sounds like an accountant. Who does your taxes? It's my buddy Carl Stenson.
Yeah.
So Carl Stenson, who is 11, 10, something
11,
like that.
11, yeah.
He's up there in this presser afterwards, and it is the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. He is answering these questions like he's been doing this for 20 years, and the disdain he has for media already in these answers was on full display. And hilarious, and he blamed Pop a little bit, but he also he wasn't real happy with his shots. He had every non-emotion that golfers typically have after a round already in the holster. It's hilarious. You got to look it up. Carl Stenson. Don't go to Carl Stenson CPA. Go to Carl Stenson the golfer.
Well, to take it back a couple days, they had a party the night before the tournament, and Peter Jacobsen had Carl and Henrik up on stage. And Carl's roasting his dad and Jacobsen's just egging him on. And Jacobsen's just a tremendous personality in himself. And he's like, "Well, what do you think your chances are this week?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know. He's like, my game feels pretty good, but my dad's not been playing well lately." And so you got to see that video too. Big thumbs up for all of that. All of the all of the sons and daughters or the dads or whatever that add a little personality to this event is just great.
All right, next reaction. This event allows age to not be a factor. You had Gary Player in his 80s. You had Lee Trevino in his 80s out there with the grandsons. I think Lee was with his son, maybe, or maybe his grandson. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He looked very young for his son, but then again, who knows these days? So. Age not a factor. You had 11-year-olds. You had 85-year-olds in there. Your reaction to age not a factor in a tournament like this?
Even gender, because we had Nelly. She was there because she was playing in it. I just think it's really cool that we have like a top 5 golf story of the year in mid-December. Mm-hmm. And it's coming out of an event that's super positive. I mean, I know that there's the Tiger haters and there's the people who are like, oh, there's too much already, spotlight on Charlie and all this stuff. I mean, just take it for what it is. All of those twosomes really enjoyed themselves, and you could see that. So whether it was somebody who's usually kind of stoic like VJ, he's smiling. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen VJ smile. And, he was there with his son Cass, or, somebody like Tom Lehman rolls out, and he's with his son. I mean, I just think it's a really nice event leading up into Christmas, and the fact that it's become a marquee event due to Team Woods is even better. So, right, big thumbs up. Big thumbs up for the age differential, for different genders, for that it's not the father-son anymore, it's the parent-child. It's great.
All right, now let's get to Tiger and Charlie, which we've not really talked about. We've brushed by the topic. Charlie Woods looks like a golfer, man. I mean, my God, there isn't anything about his game that wasn't impressive. His swagger, his confidence, his joy that he seemed to have for the game, but his shot making and his drive. Speaking of my wife watching it with me, she said, "Can Charlie outdrive you?" And I said, "There's 95% of that field can outdrive me. What are we talking about here?" So yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty impressive watching that type of golf on display, but also of course the father-son, Tiger, Charlie, we get all that, but just the level of golf that some of those kids were playing, Charlie specifically, your reaction to that?
Well, big thumbs up. It seems like he's really likes to play golf. He wants to play golf. He's working hard on his game. So I think there's tons of positives there. My biggest question coming away from the weekend is that on Sunday, I want to know what he won in the pro shop for his closest to the pin on 17, because they make the amateurs and the pros play from the same tee box. They were at 170 yards. He laces a 5-iron in there, and he had the closest shot of the day. He was the only one that took it left of the pin on the hazard side. I mean, it was just really fun to watch. I mean, one thing after another, they start out birdie, birdie, eagle, and you're like, oh, here we go. They're wearing the Sunday red. Let's get excited. A couple pars. And then 11 birdies in a row. Yeah. 11 birdies in a row. And I was expecting like Jimmy Stewart to come running down the fairway, I mean, it was just like, it was unbelievable. It was a Christmas miracle. It was just so much fun to watch. And, even my kids started to watch it because they saw someone who was their age. My kids are 12 and 14, and they're like, what's going on there? And I'm like, well, sit down for a second and watch. And then he was doing really cool things as a kid. It wasn't just all Tiger doing it. And, I mean, there's just really no better way to sell the game than to show it that way.
Couldn't agree more. All right, then the last point here is that Tiger was playing golf. And your reaction to that? I mean, he had a wreck in February. We all know that. Every 12 seconds, Dan Hicks reminded us of that over the weekend. But he came back much to the shock, I think, of the golf world, except for you. You had it pegged early. He came back. He played. He looked good. He looked solid. He played great golf. Obviously, they were in the hunt. Your reaction to Tiger coming back, and what does this look like for 2022 for him?
It makes me think of 3 things. Number one, if I was on the PGA Tour, probably anybody outside of his inner circle like Justin Thomas, I don't know how much I'd listen to these press conferences that he's not engaged in golf or he's not ready to play. Now, I firmly believe we're not going to see him again until LA at his own event in Genesis. So I hope you enjoyed this weekend. If you didn't, I hope you DVR'd it, because That's probably all we're going to see for Tiger in golf until he has to promote his own event. But I think that obviously fatigue was a huge issue. But outside of that, he could play golf. And I don't even think he was in as much pain as he was at Torrey when he won the U.S. Open on a broken leg. And he could definitely play golf. I think he needs to get in shape. The second thing is that Charlie's getting a lot of credit for his play, but I think that Woods had this date circled on his calendar for a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're a dad, I'm a dad. We will do anything for our kids. And then Woods kind of alluded to it over the weekend when he said, for 7 months, I have done some form of rehab every day to get to this point. Well, this is a hit and giggle. His words, not mine. And it's interesting to me how, what really motivated Tiger to come back. And then the third thing I'll say is that I think Tiger looks totally engaged. I think he looks more engaged than he has been since there was, a lot of negative media on him. It might be at least a decade that Tiger looks like he really wants to play golf. Like he was really into hitting shots. He was really into being there with his son. And I mean, at the end of the day, that just might be the greatest gift of all, Adam. If that guy is engaged for a good 5-year run here, what could be better for golf? And we're talking about a year with a winning Ryder Cup, Phil at 50, resurgence of the LPGA, an American woman that's number 1 in the world, Japan's win at the Masters. I mean, there's all these just unbelievable storylines in 21, and this one just might take the cake. It's just great.
Keith Stewart from ESPN Radio, host of The Pro Show. Find it where you find your podcast and creator of Read the Line as well. Go find that at readtheline.com. I'm Adam Grove from Stick and Hack. And that's it for us this year, Keith. I don't want to get emotional here. I'm going to do my best to keep the crocodile tears from flowing. But it's been an incredible year with you. And we look forward to 2022 as we come back with Stick and Hack Reacts, as well as many other surprises for Stick and Hack next year. Obviously, enjoy your holiday and your new year. A pleasure being with you here this year, and we look forward to 2022, where we will see where golf goes, which should be its new tagline, and I'll copyright that in 2 seconds. We'll see where golf goes in 2022. I'm Adam Grubb. That's Keith Stewart. Everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Adam, Merry Christmas to you and your family. The rest of it, I couldn't have said it better myself. See you all in 22, folks.